Alright guys, in this video I'm going to talk about Vietnamese girls dating. How is the dating scene over here? Well, stick around. Alright guys, so, whoa, holy shit.
Why is it going fast?
Okay. We are in a cable car. This might be the most interesting place I've ever done a talking video, but a lot of people have asked me, well, how are Vietnamese women for dating? And I have very limited experience in it, but I have a lot of friends who have Vietnamese girlfriends, so I'll talk a little bit about their experience with it. By the way, look at these views here. And there's my beautiful girl. Alright, so when I first moved here, I moved here in 2019, I believe, right at the end of January 2019. I was here for 6 months, and I was teaching English full-time, and I was also volunteering teaching English for a couple days a week. And I didn't have a ton of time for dating, but what I did notice is a few observations that I'll go through. But my very first date, met through a dating app. We met at this coffee shop, and I'm thinking, oh, she's attractive, she's nice, her English is pretty decent. And we end up talking about 5 minutes, and she pulls out a notepad and starts asking me grammar questions about English. And I quickly realized this is not a date, this is a English lesson. And that's pretty much what she wanted, was practice with a native English speaker and to get free English lessons. There wasn't any love interest there. So it was a one date and that was it. And then my other dating experience, we actually went out about 3 or 4 times, and that 3 or 4 times we never even so much as held hands. And from my observation, it's very, very slow moving here. They don't like to rush anything. It's very slow. One thing that I've noticed that Maya might actually have noticed too is they don't seem to be real affectionate with them. Like, I don't see them really like as affectionate as Filipinas, in my opinion. Maya, what do you think? Have you noticed like couples here? have they, like, do you see them like holding hands and hugging and stuff?
No, I haven't.
Not really.
I haven't seen any foreigner and Vietnamese.
No, I haven't really seen any mixed, other than my friend David and his girl. But the affection with couples, even just between Vietnamese couples, doesn't seem to be like Filipinas. The one thing I can say about Filipinas is they're very affectionate, very clingy, and I don't want to say clingy, very touchy-feely, which most of us, I mean, who doesn't love that, right? So that's one thing I've noticed. They don't really do public affection, and I'm not talking about making out in public or anything. Whoa. A little shaking and baking going on there. But there are beautiful Vietnamese women, lots of beautiful Vietnamese women. I have noticed that they really cover themselves up, right, Maya? And they are very white. So if you want a nice morena beauty, then Vietnam is not the place for you.
I think being dark here is considered ugly, because I've seen lots of Vietnamese, or maybe they are Korean, that they look at me and then they would look at their skin, and then yesterday when we were doing some activities, there's like Korean maybe, and they look at me and she started putting sunblock on herself. Yeah.
Well, and our Vietnamese friend that we met for dinner, he had told us that it's almost the same mentality as the Philippines, but I think worse actually here. Because they really, I mean, they go as far as a scarf, sunglasses, a wrap around them, gloves on. They are white as snow, a lot of them. Mm-hmm. And like a ghost. And he said that when they see a dark girl or guy, they think, well, she's probably working, picking fruit, or a farmer or something along those lines. So, yeah. But they are more conservative, and you don't really see big age gaps. My friend, for example, I think was he 65, 62 or so.
He said he's 60 something.
He's in his 60s, I think 62 or so. And his girlfriend was like, what? 37. So that's still a pretty decent age gap. So if you want a 20-year age gap, that's still considered a healthy age gap. But if you're a guy who's 50 and you want to date a 20-year-old, that's probably not going to happen here. First off, they are just super into like schooling and work here. You don't really see girls not working here. It's like they all work. They're all like going off on their scooters and going to work or school, and so they don't really have the time. And I got this from experience too. I had asked a Vietnamese girl out when I was living here who was 22. I think I was in my 40s at the time, and she's like, nope. School's got to come first. She's like, yeah, I like you. You seem like a nice guy and everything, but school first. So they are very dead set on that. And if you think you're gonna meet a girl and get into a relationship and you want her to stop working and be like stay at home and travel together, you have another thing coming. Vietnamese girls do not want to just stay home. And I don't want to say Filipinas do, but they're probably more willing to. Yeah, they're much more like maybe family oriented, I would say, and more into taking care of the family and staying at home. They're much more likely to be in a role like that. Maya and I are laughing. This is a very nice ride. I think this ride cost us $5 for both of us?
No.
For each, right? I think around $4 US each. And that's a round trip there and back, and it takes about 10 minutes or so. So we have to wrap up this video before I get to the other end. But yeah, I would say if you really are looking for more of a traditional girl, like someone that's going to take care of the family, take care of the household, a Filipina, in my opinion, is still the way to go. And I think, in my opinion, still the best of both worlds for me is have a Filipina girl and travel. And then maybe even if your girl is willing, go live in Thailand. I know actually a lot of Filipina foreigner couples that go live in Thailand or Malaysia or Vietnam or Cambodia or other places, and then they just go back to the Philippines every so often because it's very near. This time around, this ticket only cost us about $100 each one way, and then we'll fly home out of Hanoi. But yeah, again, if you want a girl with a much lighter complexion, they do seem to be much taller, right? Even the women seem to be taller than the men here.
Yeah.
If you want a girl who is very into working, because I don't really think you can find a Vietnamese girl who is just a stay-home wife. They don't really seem to do that role here. They are becoming very modern, I would say. So traditional woman, I think Filipina. And if you want a nice morena, morena meaning brown beauty, Filipina. If you like the lighter skinned girls and taller, and you're okay with maybe just a 20-year age gap and your girl working or running a business, then that's the way to go. Grab a Vietnamese girl. My friend David, his Vietnamese girlfriend owns a massage parlor, and where they do foot spa and all that. But she works 7 days a week from morning till night. If I remember right, she works at like 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. all the way till 11 p.m. at night, 7 days a week. So when my friend wants to travel, he's out doing it on his own, And he's okay with that, and she's okay with that, and so it works for them. But again, yeah, look at this great views. I mean, we've only been to 2 cities so far, Ho Chi Minh City and now Dalat. Noticeable temperature difference. The temperature is almost on par with Baguio. I think every time we look up the weather in Baguio, it's the same temperature as Dalat. So overall, I think they're right about maybe around the same elevation and same type of weather. Now we did add a stop on our trip, Sapa, which actually gets snow in December and January, and we might actually go to Sapa, or we will go to Sapa at the end of the trip here, and we will just cut some days off of Hanoi and end up going to Sapa. So here is the end of our trip. You can see it coming up. Alright guys, we are leaving the strawberry farm. There was one more thing I had wanted to mention about Vietnamese versus Filipina. And one, I think Filipinas are much more approachable, easier to talk to, and of course the English factor is a huge difference. Automatically the dating pool in Vietnam has shrunk way down because of the English factor. So the people who, the girls who could speak English are few, far, and in between, and then the ones who are even interested in foreigners shrink that even further, and then the ones open to even age gap. So Philippines, for me, get yourself a great Filipina like my girl here. There she is. She's hiding. And travel. That's my advice. But you can find a good Vietnamese girl. There are good ones too. But anyway. And there's my beautiful girl. I am so glad I have a Filipina. Again, don't get me wrong. They're beautiful Vietnamese girls. Beautiful. But large age gap, darker skin, stay at home, more family oriented. You're better off with the Filipina, in my opinion. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll continue to take you on adventures. Check out Maya's channel. It's Maya for more adventures and footage from around Vietnam. Thank you guys. See you next time. We are gonna crash. No, we're okay. Don't forget to travel without travel medical insurance in the links down below for incidents like this.